Whoa. Okay, so it turns out I had to update some stuff. Hold on, let me turn on the music. It's weirdly quiet. Alright, okay, which radio station? Lo-Fi Volume 2? Sure, why not? This one? No? There we go. What is this one? Lo-Fi Volume 2. Alright. Actually, now I need to pull up chat. Okay, so what happened today was I turned on my headset. And then I had to update a bunch of stuff. Because of the virtual desktop software. I always refuse to update it because the only time I turn on my VR headset is right before I start the stream. And if I wanted to update, I have to I gotta change every time. It takes a few minutes. Really what I should do is when I end my stream, if there's an update, I should just update it and then just leave my VR headset. And yeah, I'm pretty far behind. But anyway, after some time, if you keep refusing to update it, it'll just do it by itself. And so it takes a few minutes to run. And it's probably... I don't know, it's probably fun. Anyway, there's no security implications for this, right? Definitely not. But now I gotta do my calibration. Hold on, is it... Oh, okay, it's already picking up my mouth movements. Do the T-pose. There's a T-pose right there. This looks like... This is what happens when I do the T-pose. But it should be like... It should be like this. But it's not. I don't know how to change this. What if I make the model taller? Edit calibration. The height, just make it just be huge. That's not how this works. What is the height? Look at how huge. Okay, but now the arms don't match. What does this even look like? Am I huger now? Am I large? Wow, that looks huge. Okay. Was it 1.3? What was I at before? I don't even know. 1.3. T-pose. Match arms. Actually, that's... No, that's not better at all. Well, it's slightly better, actually. If I do the T-pose, the arms are slightly raised. Whatever, okay, whatever, this is fine. It's probably just gonna clip into my body anyway. Like it always does. Anyway, alright, welcome, oh shoot, I gotta do the... I gotta turn off the redeems again. You guys keep doing this. Every time. Go to Twitch. Hold on, Twitch toggle. Okay, I don't have that in my favorites. So now I have to go to my dashboard. Viewer rewards. Channel points. Manage rewards. Okay, turn all those off. Look at that convenient bookmarklet. Here, I'm gonna bookmark this page as well. Done. Alright, so now that we have that set up, now I'm gonna greet people. Welcome, Duck, Shima Panic, Cyane, Hamflow, and Slime Molder. Quick do redeems? No, I turned them off. It's too late now. Those will show up at the beginning of the next stream. Anyway, it is a bit strange being in VR right now because after daylight saving, it's actually really dark outside at the moment. And so, you know, usually when I start these streams, it's like bright outside. Now that the daylight has changed, it's dark, but then I put on the headset and it's like, it's daytime again. And that's really strange. You guys ever get this effect where you're in VR and you're like, oh, it's daytime. It doesn't feel like it should be daytime right now. It do be dark. Welcome, Ryo Kasai. What is that emote? Is that your own emote? It's not. Okay. They'll be at the beginning of the next Wolfie stream. Yeah, don't miss my streams every day, 5 p.m. except on Sundays when I don't stream. They'll be there. They'll always be there. Will we see a bear today? I don't even know. Every few minutes, I'm gonna try to turn around and see if a bear has spawned over there. Oh well, I don't know. But yeah, the reason why I put the title of this stream is what? It's got the word clickbait in it. Fishing parentheses clickbait question mark? This is because I might not actually fish. As we know from the last 2 streams, I'm just on the lake. I didn't even fish at all the past 2 streams. I didn't even cast the rod. I'm just here. I'm just a guy on a lake. Not even fishing. We're at that stage now. That's how we live now. It's because I had to click the bait. Yeah, exactly. I did think about the fact that bait is used for fish. You're not necessarily clicking it. I guess if you're clicking in on the VR controllers, that kind of counts. Sort of, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it's Wednesday. Wait, today's Wednesday, right? Yeah, it is Wednesday. This week is already going by so fast. And now that I'm reminded that we have Friday off, basically tomorrow is virtual Friday. Right, for me, because we got Veterans Day. And then tomorrow's the last work day of the week. I also found out Thursday is also a holiday in France. I didn't know that until today. I had this meeting with a coworker, and he works from France, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm not gonna be here on Friday, so we can cancel this meeting because we have like a holiday in France." And I was like, "What? I have a holiday." We in the United States have a holiday on Friday as well. So it's cool how that works out. I forgot what day it is in France on Friday, but it's some sort of holiday. It's also a holiday in Poland. That's cool. I'm gonna assume you live in Poland. Unless you just happen to know. I guess we can find out. Like on Friday, when we check what day it is at the end of the stream, you'll see a list of many holidays. Oh, I think in France it's like Armistice Day or something. I don't really know what that's about. We'll find out. On Friday, stick around to the end of the stream, and then you can check what day it is on Friday. Whoa, yeah, it's a holiday in Texas as well. It's a holiday in New York, in Texas, California. Only those 3 locations. Nowhere else. Also, welcome to Maya. And Nutritious, welcome. It is nice. It is nice that the sun is out. You can always count on the sun to be out in VR. Except when it's raining. I hope it does rain. That'd be cool. Yeah. I don't know. A holiday on Friday is basically just the same. I mean, I never do anything special anymore. Some people are like, "You got plans for the long weekend?" And I'll say, "No. I never have plans. I don't do anything anymore. I just stream. I watch streams. Occasionally, if I have an idea for something to program, I'll program. Besides that, I'm just chilling. We're all just chilling, aren't we? Casually browsing the stream right now. Yeah, literally Hamflow, for real. Today at work, spent a lot of time writing some software, you know. Oh yeah, except for that part. Hamflow can't really get to the software part. I wrote some software. Let's see, my plan is helping with my friend's birthday party, knowing I enjoy helping more than the party itself. I'm such a type of person. I also don't really enjoy parties. I don't know. It's never really the kind of person to celebrate at a party. I always feel weird. Because people are like, oh, you want to go to this party? Actually, I have a story of like when I was in middle school. This one person invited me like to... I forgot what it was, like his bar mitzvah or something. I'm not familiar with those, but it's like some sort of big party that when Jewish kids turn 13. I think so, I don't know. There's like some sort of party. And I was invited. It was like a fancy like envelope and everything. So like I don't like going to parties, and I also didn't know most of the people that were invited. And so I was just like, oh sorry, I can't go. It's like, oh why? It's my party. And I'm just like, oh I don't know, I got something to do. And then I just didn't go. That's me. That's the kind of person I am. If you have a party, you can count on me to not be there. Unless I know everyone there. Unless I know many people there. I don't know. It's strange. Parties are weird. I guess if you know most of the people there, it's fine. Right? If you only know one person at the party, it's a bit weird. Because like if it's their party, it's gonna be full of people that they know. And then if you don't know anyone there, you're just like hoping to talk to them. And then I'm not good at networking, so if they're just like, oh, just meet new people. I'm like, but everyone there knows each other, and none of them know me. So that's just weird. Maybe it's not weird. Maybe I'm the one who's weird. Worst thing is the birthday party has 15 guests. I don't know 12 of them? Yeah, exactly. You got situations like that. And I think a lot of the times, if the party, like the group of people, if most of them know each other, they're not really going to the party to meet new people, right? They're just going there to hang out with the people they already know. And so if you wanted to interact with them, you're just like, hey guys, I'm this guy. What do you guys do? Oh, you guys know each other? Oh, everyone knows each other? Whoa, that's crazy. You guys know each other. I don't know anyone. And then they're like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then they go back to talking to each other. They just sit in the chair and look at the phone. Then why even go then? Right? At that point, you could just leave. Or just go home. I guess it would be considered rude to just leave. Like the person who invited you. It's like, oh no, you're not having fun? Come on, it's my party, I invited you. It's like, I don't know, man, I just got something to do, you know? Gotta go at home. Gotta go at home. Yeah, that's what they say. I gotta go at home. Aren't IT people naturally good at networking? You would be surprised. I know you're making a pun, like network. Software networks, the internet network. Actually, IT people are not good at networking. That's why you need IT people. That's why there's a lot of people that do IT. Because no one really knows networking. I find the dog or the cat. That's a thing that people do. But I've actually never been to a party that had a dog or a cat. But maybe that's just because I don't go to parties. So actually that's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. I will never see a dog or a cat at a party because I simply just don't go to the party. That's how things are. Food and booze. And then I mellow out and get a little chatty. Yeah. But also, like, yeah, the thing also is that I don't drink. So a lot of times when people have parties, like they'll have like things where they go to a bar or they'll go somewhere and they have drinks. As someone who doesn't drink, I don't know. I'm not really interested. I guess they're like, oh yeah, they bring in food, bring in booze. Neither of those interest me. Internet connections, yeah, no one even knows. Literally no one knows. Just got it. What is that emote? Is that Nyanners? I knew it. I knew it was Nyanners. I don't drink either, and I fear I will need to babysit the guests. I don't know, hanging around drunk people when you're when you're not drunk is kind of weird. They're all talking, they're all having fun, and here I am just sitting there. So sober guy. They're just saying things and they don't understand what they're saying. But I'm sober and I understand everything, and I'm like, oh, that's funny. Yeah, totally, yeah, I get it, yeah, totally, for real, yeah. Exactly, yeah. You're right. That's what I do. Actually, I don't do that. I just sit there. See, I still eventually would get chatty when I didn't drink. More comfortable chatting with people that are a little goofy while I'm sober. I guess that's also true. Yeah, like, if everyone else is drunk, then what do you have to lose, right? You can just say whatever the heck you want. They're not gonna remember it. Unless they do. What if they do remember it? Like, oh man, thank you, man. I remember that time. That time when I was drunk and you were... I don't know. That's my impression of a drunk person. They just make words. They just say words. Being the only sober person is annoying. Yeah. So relatable. Extremely relatable moments here. You were just imagining. Yeah, just gaslight them. Just gaslight them into thinking that something didn't happen. You say something weird to them and they're like, what do you say? You just say, no, you were drunk, you didn't hear anything. You made that up. You're just hallucinating things. As drunk people tend to do. You just blacked out. Totally for real. You just made that up. It's not even real. But yeah. I mean, sometimes the food is good, right? Okay, I would do karaoke. I've told the story about how my coworkers at my previous workplace, like, they would have these work events where they go karaoke. It's always like drunk karaoke, right? But me and my friends, we would do sober karaoke at different karaoke places, and it was like midday karaoke. So like, if people aren't getting drunk at like 2 p.m. I guess you could, but I mean, people generally don't do that. And then my coworker was like, oh yeah, you do karaoke, right? Oh, but it's sober karaoke. It's entirely different. Oh, what a weirdo. Look at this weirdo doing sober karaoke. Fun times. Karaoke's good. Hopefully I could do it again in person someday. I feel like probably my lung capacity for singing is not as good as it used to be. You gotta practice for that kind of stuff. Well, not really. You don't really have to. If you karaoke pretty often, you get used to singing. Yeah, sober. This guy's sober. SMH. Can't believe this guy would not even drink. Not even drinking alcohol. Karaoke's good. Good times. That's my socialization back in the day. Before I started streaming, my only social interaction was karaoke. Only karaoke strams? Never. Probably never. Influ, is that a meme? That's like the second time you've said I'd love to do it someday. Is that some sort of meme? I forgot what the other time you said that was. I also pointed it out. I was like, what does that mean? Is that some sort of meme? Also, what is that? What is this emoji? Warm your lungs, back up fire. Is that a golf ball? I don't know what it looks like on your guys' screen. I have no idea what that is. Is that the unknown emoji? if I don't have the emoji on my system. It's a reference. That's lungs. It doesn't look like it. It looks like it just looks like a circle to me. Does it look like something different on you guys? Your guys' screen? I see lungs. What the heck? So welcome, Denchi. Typoed the word fire. Normally, when I hover over something, it tells me what it is, but it doesn't for some reason. Kinda, it's a reference to The Office. Well, what was the original line in The Office? The Office? I would love to do that someday. I'd love to go to The Office someday. You guys ever been to The Office? The real office, though? Not me. I've been there. Not that office, just a different office. My own office, but not my office, just someone else's office. Never again. Literally never. Denchi hates The Office. But what about Michael Scott and the Dunder Mifflin Corporation? I can't believe Denchi hates The Office. I'm going in tomorrow to clean out my desk that has my stuff from 3 years ago. Whoa. 3 years. Has it really been 3 years since COVID? Oh yeah, it has. I guess 2019. No, but for me, like, the start of 2020 was when we started not being in the office anymore. Wait a second. No, I guess it still has been about 3 years, though. Because if it was the start of 2020, and this is near the end of 2022, so that's like almost 3 years. If he was there, yeah, Michael Scott, the famed celebrity, John Office. Love The Office. I'd love to watch it. Is that the actual line from The Office? Did they say that? Did Tim? What is his name? Tim? He looks at the camera like he's on The Office, and then he says, "I love The Office. I'd love to watch it someday." And then he smiles like Jim. Jim, yeah, Jim Halpert. Yeah, that's it. Me when I'm on The Office, and then I look at the camera as if I am on the hit TV show Office. Classic meme. One of the classic memes of all time. Timothy Halpert. That guy's wacky. That guy's so wacky, guys. So quirky. And Pam. You guys remember Pam? Jim and Pamela? Yep. Those were some people who existed in a TV show. Anyway, today I programmed stuff at work, as I tend to do. But the thing that I programmed today, I was using a library that I had contributed to like 2 or 3 years ago, or 4 years ago. I don't even know. Usually, when I read documentation and I see a typo, I just open a pull request on GitHub and I fix the typo for them. And I forgot that I did this one, and so when I was using the library, I looked at the contributors list and I was like, wait, Wolfie, that's me. I was like, what the heck? What did I do? And then I looked at it and it's like, oh yeah, right. 3 years ago, I fixed a typo. And then when working through the code again, reading their documentation, I saw another typo. And so I'm like, I'm gonna fix this one eventually. What did I make? I didn't make anything. It's a Postgres library, and also a connection pool wrapper around Postgres. It's called Deadpool. You know how software developers, they choose like the weirdest names? Just like, oh yeah, what am I gonna call this software? I don't know, just name it after something. I guess Deadpool sort of makes sense because it's like a database connection pool. And that's clever, right? I never know what to name things. Trying to get on the contributor list. No, it's just like if you see a typo, right? It just, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna leave it there? Not me. Not me. I gotta fix it. Dead simple library. Yeah, Deadpool. Welcome the e-donger. Anyway, I didn't think I would actually have a chance to use it professionally, but now here I am. A library that I contributed to, thanks to my documentation typo fixes. It's received many stars on GitHub. I have like a lot of contributions in like big repos, and there are literally like 99% of them are bug fixes. Sorry, not bug fixes. Typo fixes. There was one contribution where I reported a bug in a library. It was like causing deadlock issues, and it was when the software was still in alpha, and I was like basically one of the only people testing it, I guess. But then I wrote up like a test case and was like, hey, this thing is happening. It's not supposed to happen, right? It's like, oh no, you found like this huge issue. I gotta change the whole algorithm now. It's like, okay, thanks. And then he fixed it. And I was like, that's cool. It's a Rust library known as dash map. It's like a hash map, but you can do concurrent access. And then it's used by a lot of major things. And so I feel like I contributed a little bit. There's got to be at least one person who started because they were so impressed with the typo-free documentation. Exactly. There's a few times when like I see one typo in the documentation, and then what I do is I open up the pull request, but then I notice like the rest of the document has a ton of other typos. So this pull request of me changing one typo ends up being me proofreading the entire documentation for the entire project. And then I just open this huge pull request. It's like a billion changes. And I'm always worried. They're like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? But actually, they've always been like, oh yeah, thank you. Thank you for the contributions. If you see any other issues, feel free. And like sometimes the maintainers, like English is not their first language, so there are times when I do feel a bit bad about it. That there's like one GraphQL library that I found. I basically ended up like rewriting the entire README, but he seemed pretty grateful. It's a guy who his primary language was French, and so I think a lot of the English was like not actual proper grammar English. It's like understandable if you like try to think about it a little bit. It just sounded a little bit unnatural. Then I basically fixed up the whole thing, and he was very appreciative, and it's cool. And then a few years later, apparently he died. Isn't that weird? He just passed away. No one knows what it is. Unrelated to my changes. I just thought it was interesting. This library that I fixed up many pull requests. I found out because one of the people at my previous company, he was using that library. It's called Sangria, by the way. And he was like, oh yeah, this library was great, but then like the maintainer passed away, and now it's like abandoned because no one has access to it. And then I looked at the pull request and I was like, oh wait, yo, I contributed to this. I wrote most of the README. What did I didn't do anything. I don't even know what happened. It's extremely unrelated. I don't actually know what happened. Welcome, ChocoJax. Yeah, we got the green names are back. Look at the percentage of green names in chat. There's so many. We got Choco Jazz, we got Denchi, we got Slime Molder, Shima Panic. Actually, what is my name? What color is my name in chat? I don't even know. I'm gonna send an emote. Just to see what it is. I'm also green. I'm also randomly green. It probably looks different on your screen. But on my screen, I'm also green. Yeah, it's random. On Twitch, if you don't change your name color, it gets randomized. But if you ever change it, you can never change back to being random. Yes, I know. Exactly. And like, there's one time a few days ago when I posted a comment in Moonybug's chat, and she was like, "Why is your name what color was my name? Why is your name yellow or brown or whatever? Why isn't it red?" And then everyone in chat was like, "No, it's blue on my screen. It's red. It looks like red for me." And I said, "It's random." Yeah, what the heck? So if you want your name to be random, you gotta make a new account. I don't think you can reset it back to being null. The random null color. Random is not a color. Well, it's like a set of colors. It's like a bunch of colors. Good. Good. A very menacing looking face you got there. Good. Oh, I wish I could change my color. That's The Office. That's what they say. They say, colors are cool. I wish I could watch it someday. So it's my face? What? No, it's not my face. People out here using my face in chat. Dropped from user colors. You have a typo? You got the syntax? Where? Unbelievable. So you need like a semicolon at the end? And the double quotes depending on your SQL syntax. If you're using Postgres, that has to be single quotes. I think drop is also delete because drop is used for tables. Look, I'm backseating. Do you even know? I'm backseating Denchi's fake SQL dialect. I'm just kidding, it's just fun. We're having fun here. Fun times when the streamer bullies viewers for their typos. Just kidding guys, don't make fun of Denchi. He's just a guy. He's in charge of making the best software you've ever seen. Anyway, yeah, we have fun. This is pretty fun, right? It's raining. Chill sounds of rain right here. It is a valid syntax. Yeah, exactly. Denchi soft SQL. It is the most Denchi compatible SQL statement you will ever see. Yeah, I love that rain. But you're in California though, right? It doesn't rain that often over there. It was loud thunder? Was it though? Do I have to lower the volume? Oh yeah, it does seem a bit loud, huh? Normally the music should not be up until the yellow range. I don't know, maybe I should lower it a little bit. Or maybe it's fine, I don't know. Okay, I'm at negative 10.6 right now. What if I set it to negative 12.8? That's like barely any different. Whatever, it's whatever. It's fine. It is better? Okay. Alright. I could also just lower the volume on this thing. But it's the thunder that's loud. Okay, the thunder is about to storm. It's not a very loud thunderstorm. It's rainy season in Northern California right now. It's really nice. I love rain. I've heard that in some places, like I have friends who moved from New York to California, and they say every time it rains over there, no one knows how to drive in the rain. He's always complaining about like, man, when it rains, people here, they're not used to being on the rain, or being on the rainy road or whatever. Everyone just forgets how to drive. Is that true? I could see that being true. Like if it snowed over there, right? The people would be so confused. It only snows in the mountains. But yeah. I don't know. I don't drive, so I'm sure I would be worse. I'd be much worse at driving. As someone who doesn't know how to drive at all. Definitely, if it was raining and I tried to drive, I would not know what to do. Even if it wasn't raining, I would also not know what to do. Exactly, it's true. It's true. I would not make this up. Anyway, what else happened recently? Wasn't there was like a Nintendo, what is it? Nintendo indie show, whatever, where they announced a bunch of upcoming indie games. You guys watch that one? I skipped around in the video. I think a lot of them look like games that I might enjoy playing, but I didn't really look that much into it. Yeah, the indie direct or whatever. It's okay, the fear makes you better than some drivers. Yeah, as someone who never drives, I'm obviously better than some drivers. It's a joke, but that's also probably true. I'm a gamer. I've played Mario Kart. I know that to drift, you gotta press left and right. You got stuck in traffic because of the rain? Oh yeah. You did say that it's raining. Also, now I know that you live in Northern California. If I didn't already know that, now I know. I'm gonna put that in my notes. My 33, Northern California. It was raining recently. I didn't know about indie thing. Yeah, I didn't know either until I saw someone tweeting about it. And I was like, what the heck? That's a thing that's happening. I watched it after it was over. I saw when I checked Twitch this afternoon, I saw that Nintendo was streaming, and I was like, oh, what the heck is this? I decided not to click on it because I would rather not see Twitch chat for like an event like that. It's always gonna be like, oh, this game, sleeper, resident sleeper, hate this. When are they gonna announce new character for Smash? Oh, I hate this indie game, whatever, right? It's always gonna be stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. So I just didn't click it. I watched it afterwards though on YouTube. The weird thing is that, like, the way Nintendo does these directs is that they have like a long waiting room beforehand, and so when you're watching the VOD, it's like it's like 25 minutes of content, but then the video is an hour long, and the first like 25 minutes is just the loading screen. I'm sure they trim it at some point, but I had to like click around. I was like, what the heck? I don't even know. Where's the content? There were actually a lot of games on there, but I also don't remember any of them. Some of them had good designs though. Some very multi-core games. Games suitable for me specifically. I guess we'll see. I don't know what I'm gonna play tomorrow though. Cause like I finished Stray last week. Yesterday I played the Yoshi's whatever game. I guess I do have a few games that I could possibly play. I got Train Simulator. It was on sale. It was on the Humble Bundle or whatever. For $12, you can get Train Simulator Classic and a bunch of the DLC. And I was like, you know what? I'll pay $12. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm actually gonna play it though. I guess I could try. Those games are surprisingly popular. There's like 1 billion DLC items for it. There's like definitely some people. Whenever I check gameplay of it on YouTube, I'm just like, what is this like? It's always by someone who's like super familiar with trains, right? You never get like a train simulator playthrough by someone who doesn't know trains at all. It's always someone who's like, oh yes, this train was invented in 1970 something, and it's known for driving along the whatever. And then they're always really knowledgeable. And the chat is always like, yo, have you tried this train? Have you gone this route? I love this route. And I'm just like, can I get like a someone who doesn't know trains like at all? Can I get someone like that to play the game so that I know if I can enjoy it? I don't know. I guess I could be the change that I want to see in the world. Right, I could make that content. Someone who doesn't know anything. Yeah, normally review really niche games, exactly. But what if I stream it and then I get like someone in chat who really knows the game? And they're like, wow, why aren't you using the turbo boost? They probably don't have that on trains, right? Why aren't you using the stick shift? I don't even know what that is. As someone who doesn't know how to drive, I don't know like what is auto and manual transmission or whatever. I have no idea. Like I could look it up. But also I won't, because I have no need to know about it. Yeah, why aren't you boosting the... Why aren't you doing the multi-track drifting? Gotta do it. You have to do it. Yeah, from racing games? Oh, like Gran Turismo and stuff like that? I don't know. I wish trains had turbo boost. I imagine it would be dangerous though. They would just be boosting. It'd be going really fast, dangerously. Yeah, this guy isn't even doing the pro strats. He doesn't know that you gotta like accelerate at this rate. You gotta slow down when you get into the station. Multi-track, exactly. I don't know, maybe I would enjoy it. I feel like it would be a Zatsudan game, right? Like, I bought Euro Truck Simulator, and I played it a long time ago when I used to stream on YouTube. It was adequately entertaining. And I imagine Train Simulator would be similar. Except there's like, I don't know what you do in that game. Because like, you just go, you can't really do much. You're just going forward and stopping, right? I mean, there must be more to it, right? You gotta like control your speed. But can you really turn on a train though? Like, isn't that just handled by the trains? I guess there's some times when you gotta signal that you're gonna change lanes. And then like someone changes the track somehow. Do you think they'll have times when like someone jumps onto the train tracks and you gotta stop? I feel like that's something they wouldn't simulate. Because there's potential that you just run someone over. What if? Realistic of what? Avor? I don't know if that's a word to use for trains. Whatever, I don't know. Fun times. Love trains. Trains are good. What is the most interesting train you guys have ever been on? I think when I was in Japan, There was a train going to the Fuji mountains, Mount Fuji, I mean, and it had a nice theme. It was very blue. It had pictures. It had like a cartoon depiction of Mount Fuji. It had like big eyes and everything. It was a pretty nice train. What if Train Simulator has Thomas? Man, Thomas though. When I was in Japan, I went to Thomas Land. That was in Fuji-Q Highland, I think. And it had the most cursed Thomas you'll ever see. People who watched my YouTube streams back then, I did 3 streams where I showed everyone my Japan photos. And I think on the second of those streams, I showed the time when I went to Thomas Land. And they had like these these Thomas faces embedded into the rock. Like they had like this little cave area. You're like, oh, that's cute. I don't know, just a cave. And then they had like this really cursed looking sculpture of Thomas faces. And it looked like demons. Actually, what if I can show it to you guys? I'll just pull up the VOD. Here, I'll do it. Interactive stream. Okay, let's see it. Hamflo has never been on a train? What? They have those. Okay, YouTube. Okay, where's my channel? Yeah, Thomas. Okay. Okay, where's my video? How do I search? Do you guys have just like this new UI? YouTube changed their website recently. Wasn't there like a search bar somewhere up here? I mean, you can search here, but like that searches all of YouTube. There used to be a search bar like down here where you can search the channel specifically. I don't know. Only been on amusement park trains. Those are small. Those trains are pretty small. Oh wait, I see. They have a new tab for live. And so when I streamed on YouTube, this would be on the live tab. I think it was the second time I went to Japan. It's this one? Yeah, this one. Let's see, where's Thomas? Thomas Land. Man, I took a lot of photos, huh? Okay, where the heck? Okay, it's around here. Thomas Land. Okay, here, you guys, you see this? This is Thomas Land. They got these like caves, and they got this big face in there. It's messed up. It's fricked up. Here's another Thomas face embedded in the rocks. I don't know if you see it. I don't know how well this shows up on the screen. That's one of the Thomas faces. There's another one. There was a third one. Which one was it? This one? Okay, yeah. There's the second Thomas face. It's so cursed. I imagine there's kids that go here and they're just like, they don't understand how cursed this is. They're just like, what the heck is that? Oh, don't worry, it's just Thomas. Thomas and his friends. It is indeed horrifying. So you might have to scroll to it for the channel search, really? I thought it was there. No. I think they removed it. Welcome, Chosen Keeper. Yeah, it's extremely cursed. Okay, how long ago was this stream? It was like quite some time ago. It was from August 24th, so about a year and 2 months ago. This is when I went to the Daikatsu theme park in Fujiku Island. Anyway, I did 3 streams where I talked about each one of my Japan trips. They were all about 2 hours long. Maybe at some point I could do another one. Just recycle content. Like it's been long enough I can talk about this again. Because many people that are here now were not around back then. Let me see some people. Who was in chat at the time? Ascapade was there, he's still here. He's still here sometimes. Applica was there. Cafro was there. Got many people. Many people were there. Stanley was there. Good times. I hate watching Twitch on phone. Phone calls kicking me out. SMH. I don't even get phone calls anymore. The only calls that I get are spam calls. I mean, try to horizontal scroll the tabs. Okay, oh shoot, there it is. That's okay, that's weird. I don't think that's very good design. You just assume that I have a screen that's big enough to show all this. I see. Okay, well you're right, it's there. Welcome, props not Jack. Yeah, VOD watch along. Yeah, I'm gonna be a React streamer. React to my own streams from the past. Actually, people do that when they review their debut streams. Right, usually when people have their 1-year anniversary, they'll go back and they'll look at their first stream, and then they'll be like, "Oh, this was so cringe. How could I be so cringe?" I actually did that on my 1-year anniversary. I did rewatch my first stream, and it was pretty bad. Let's see, roommate was to pick me up. He's kinda angry right now, not being able to access YouTube or Google on his iPad Pro. Yet his iPhone works. What? That happens sometimes. Sometimes an app will just work on my desktop. Sometimes I have Wi-Fi issues on my desktop, but then my phone is working fine, or vice versa. And then I'm like, is it like my phone that's working? I don't even know. I just don't know. Anyway, how are you guys doing today? On this Wednesday. This is the stream when I'm entirely dependent on chat for content to talk about. Not like other streams like Picross, where if I run out of stuff I can just start saying numbers. In this stream on Wednesdays, if I run out of stuff to talk about, it's over. I can fish, I guess, but I'm not going to. Unlock dab? Oh shoot, I'm so far away. I can still say numbers, yeah. I got the 5 right there. This thing is a 3, so it's gotta be, this one's gotta be there. And so that means we solve the 4, and then we move this over. Okay, and we can cross these. Okay, if these two intersect over here, then we can say these two must be part of the 3, and then over here we have the 1. But this one could be there. It might not actually be there though. No, actually it can be there. Yeah, looking at this one. This 3 definitely, if you go down this way, yep, the 3 is right there. It's right there. Yeah, edge strats. Okay, we solved this row. So what you do here, this thing is 20 wide. If you have a 15, it means that these 10 in the middle have got to be part of it. And then from this, you can apply edge strats, or as I like to call them, educational strategies sometimes. So you got the 2 here, you can cross this one out. Okay, I'm just making a I'm just talking about things. That's me. It's like I'm actually playing Picross right now. What do you I think it's a tree, right? This looks like a tree. Also welcome Toaster and Modern. I might have already agreed to Toaster, I don't know. Oh, not exactly. I fooled everyone. Fooled all of you. Start talking about recurrent neural networks. I don't understand this stuff anymore. I took a course in college about neural network and stuff like that. I just know there's weights and stuff like that, and you choose the weights, you put the inputs in. But you graduated? I can't believe you graduated. This VTuber graduated. What was graduation. Well, what are you doing now though? Are you graduated? New sub account. Do you actually spell it educational or educational? When I say educational strategies, I refer to the former. You can interpret it either way though. Just a pile of linear algebra? Yeah, exactly. I think before I took linear algebra, I didn't know it was like, I didn't know what it was. Right? When you learn about algebra, it's like in middle school. In middle school, you like solve for x plus whatever equals y. It's like, oh, algebra, that's easy. Linear algebra, it's just algebra with lines, right? That's so easy. And then you learn it and they're like, it's not easy at all. They made this sound so simple, but it's not. It's actually very complicated. Laplace transform, I remember that. I did electrical engineering. Those were some times. Those were difficult times. Let's see. Also, Denchi, I saw your name in the viewer list of some streams I was in, but were you actually there, or you just stick your PC AFK? Look at this guy. This guy's looking at the viewer list. Who does that? I can't believe someone would look at the viewer list. Who's in? Got stream elements. We got anime fan Rick. This guy's calling out people that are not you. Daisugo. Okay, I shouldn't be here. It was a joke. I didn't mean to look. Toaster's a stalker. How could he? How could he do that? There are some times when the streamer mentions like, oh, I got X number of viewers. That's a lot of people. And then I check the list. I see who's actually viewing. There are some people that like, they do actually go, some streamers who actually go through the users list and start greeting people that are like lurking. I've never seen it myself, but I've heard someone describe it. And I feel like that would be really awkward, right? Like what I just did right there. Some people, they're just here to chill. And then you go into the chat and you call people out. Call people out for not being there. How could I do this? Denchi sometimes falls asleep in front of his PC. Denchi stays up so late. How do you do it? I guess you wake up late as well. Yesterday I'm pretty sure I went to bed like, and Denchi was still awake. He was like messaging about something, and then I was like, "Isn't it like 6 a.m. over there?" So what the heck, Denchi? He's watching Peen, but Shimo Hisai does not ring a bell. That name sounds vaguely familiar to me. I feel like I've seen that name. Is that like the professor who sometimes plays RimWorld? If so, I think I've seen them. Otherwise, it's like just someone else, I don't know. When the comedian calls out a random person in the audience, how often is that actually random though? Because sometimes I'm sure they actually pick up, they just like have people planted in the audience, and they're scripted. So Cat Girl? Okay, I don't know. Okay, never mind. I don't know who that is. It does sound vaguely familiar though. Wait, is it that one? The one, that emote? Oh, it is. Okay, turns out I don't know who that is. Wait, I might know who it is because you've posted their emotes before. I think that's why it sounds familiar. I keep doing this game where I try to guess emotes. And so I'm gonna assume that you've probably posted their emotes before. Let's see, someone I kind of know gets weirded out / displeased with the viewer list on the bottom of the screen as animated characters walking around. Wait, they're displeased with as a viewer? I guess, yeah, there are some streamers who have this thing where it shows people walking around at the bottom of the screen. But that also includes people that are not chatting. Like, it'll just show their name, which I guess does it does look a bit weird. Denchi does know them. Yeah, the emote. I'm sure I recognize some streamers now from their emotes because they've been posted. Let's see, I once had an old professor email all of us at 3 AM saying he was sick. It was the wrong year's email list. At 3 AM. I guess better 3 AM than like in the morning, right? Does 3 AM count as the morning? At what point does it stop being like late night and start being morning? Like 3 AM to me feels like late night. But it's like 5 AM early morning, 4 AM? Yeah, I guess 4 AM. 4:30? I feel like 5 AM definitely would be considered morning for me. I had a professor update an assignment grade for a class I took 2 years ago. 2 years? That's a long time. Were you graduating? I'm gonna assume you were still in school. How does that even work though? Like if you completed the course for that semester, like they can retroactively update something from 2 years ago? Professor, you sent that email to the wrong list. Yeah, why are you awake at 3 AM? What's going on? At 12 AM, smile. 3 AM is morning, but it's like degen morning. Denchi's always awake so late. He's always in streams. This guy is up watching streams. I already talked about this. I'm just going back to the old topics. They updated a grade in a canvas. Canvas? What is a canvas? Is that like something they use nowadays? Like nowadays, they do a lot of stuff online. What the heck, that's loud. When I was in college, we used something called Moodle. It's like Poodle, but with an M. I don't know what they use nowadays. Blackboard or something? Canvas is the newfangled learning platform. I see. Yeah, I assumed it was something like that. I'd never used it. Canvas replaced Blackboard? I've also never used Blackboard. But this is a loud thunder, what the heck? Dude, I'm trying to talk about stuff. How can nature not consider me? Did have a professor talk about how they could retroactively ungraduate students? What? Yeah, imagine if you've been working in the workforce for like 5 years, and then your professor's like, oh yeah, you cheated on this thing? Suddenly your degree is no longer valid. Wouldn't that be messed up? I guess like if you plagiarize, right? I guess that's like a serious offense. Anyway, it's been over an hour. I'm gonna hydrate. It's time for me to hydrate. Alright. I feel like when I do these fishing streams, I'm like more out of breath than I usually am. I mean, usually I'm not out of breath when I do streams, but I guess it's from me like standing up so often. I mean, I guess I could sit down, but I feel like it's better to be standing up. Maybe it's because the chat is like, I have to look down a bit because the new messages show up down here. And then my head is constantly like looking down like this. Let me move it a bit farther up. I'm just looking up all the time. Everyone check your posture. Make sure you have the good posture. Make sure your head is not tilted forward. Okay, alright. Yeah, who's in the posture posse? Shrimp. Do not shrimp. Do not even shrimp. I forgot this was still here. This has been here for like 2 weeks now. Yep, it is definitely daytime. Shrimple. Yeah, it's like sheeple, but shrimp. Shrimple. This guy is shrimping. Does that mean you have to give back all the money you made? No. You have to retake the course. You have to pay for your college tuition again. If they ungraduate you. Anyway, I don't know what else is there. Yesterday I saw Crony from Hololive EN. She was playing Toem. It's one of those games that I played a while back. It's the one with the black and white photography thing. And I tuned in to see, you know, how the gameplay was because I really enjoyed that game. And when I tuned in, it was like extremely different from my stream. Right? Like when I played, I was watching her stream. She was like reading the dialogue and all that. And then I was like, hey, what was I talking about when I was at this part of the game? And then I tuned in, I went back to my VOD, and I was talking about like aliens and like ghosts and Mark Zuckerberg. Just stuff like completely unrelated to the game. And then I tuned back into her stream, which is basically you're like talking about the game. There's like one super chat that's like, hey Crony, what was it? Like, I failed my test, can you cheer me up? And then she started talking about stuff. I was like, I'm gonna tune out now. This is not what I'm here for. That game was good. That's a good game. Classic Wolfie mode. Exactly. If you ever tune into a stream and I'm actually talking about the game, and I'm doing something wrong. Picross though. This guy's out here playing Picross, saying numbers. That's me. I would never do that. Yeah, I don't know. Fun game. I do talk about the game, exactly. But I wish I wouldn't. If I'm talking about the game, I prefer not to talk about it. But there are some times when I do actually have to. Because if I'm just talking all the time, especially on the timed puzzles, right? The Mario mode where the time goes down. If I don't actually focus on solving the puzzle, I'll just like run out of time. Yeah, imagine fishing. Imagine not just being on a lake for the sake of being on a lake. The real Wolf would never play Picross. What do you mean? I'm real. I'm real. How do I know you're real? Huh? You don't have the the game developer badge. How do I know you're the real Toaster Koshi? You could just be impersonating. Can't trust anyone. Fake. Extremely fake. Whoa, is that the Toaster Squishy? The developer of Archaea? The game developer badge? That's him. I want to see what a Picross parasite would look like. There's probably gonna be like a Picross puzzle that the solution is parasite. And you say, whoa, what the? Also, I see that Shadow has a Woozy now. Denchi loves the Woozies. I still don't get the appeal of it. I still don't entirely understand what it means. That feel when woozy. What emotes do I have? I'm gonna do this again. You got these emotes. I think I basically have the same emotes as last time. Yep. Same emotes. Look at how woozy they are. They are pretty woozy though. Of all the woozies, those are indeed some of them. Oh, Shadow's woozy looks a bit different from the other ones. It looks a bit more woozy. Or less woozy, I don't know. How do you categorize how woozy something is? Simply don't know. Anyway, I don't know. What else can I talk about? You guys see any cool YouTube videos? Huh? That's a thing that I talk about. Any cool YouTube recommendations? I've been recommended recently a lot of there's like this British show called Taskmaster. You guys ever see those recommended? It's like a bunch of British people. There's like a guy who gives them a task. That guy is the Taskmaster, as they call him. And it's like some weird challenges. I love Taskmaster. It's so good, right? It's like, oh yeah, get this ball in this cup without touching whatever. I don't know. And they gotta like devise ways to do it. I would recommend watching it. I don't really know like the people's names, but it's fun. It's fun times. Game Changers. Oh yeah, is that the comedy one from College Humor? I see those a lot. Those are also funny. Didn't you watch a 4-hour video about a theme park? Evermore? Do you have time to watch 4-hour videos? Do you watch it at like 2x speed? What's up with that theme park, Denchi? I feel like if I watch a 4-hour video, I would watch it at 2x speed, and even then I feel like it'd be really long. Like what if a VTuber did a watch along? Yo, what if you watched it when someone else did a watch along? Then you would pay attention. Stop watching season 9 of Taskmaster. I don't even watch the seasons. Just whatever is recommended. It's usually like the best moments. And then when I watch the actual videos, I'm like, these are not the best moments. The best moments have already been covered. Why even bother watching if I know all the rest will be the worst moments? Not worst moments, but like moments that are not as good. Right? You ever watch compilations on YouTube of like, oh, here's the top whatever moments from this show, and then you watch it, it's like those are pretty cool, but then you think like, I can't watch the regular show now because now I know these are not the best moments. I've already seen all the best moments. Messed up, ruined, entirely ruined. Vesper had Magni do the spicy wings challenge. I think I saw a screenshot of that. I didn't actually watch the stream, but I saw they ate chicken wings, right? That's it. That's all I know about it. And she retains about 10% of the info. Yeah, exactly. People should start making most boring moments. Yeah, just clip the entirety of this stream. Oh, self-deprecating humor, that's me. Wow. Most boring moments. Yeah, but then you could watch the most boring moments, and then you know for sure that the rest of the show is guaranteed to be better. Right, maybe it's actually good. Yeah, actually, yeah, what if the most boring moments are still pretty interesting? Or like, what if someone was like watching an anime, and then they clipped only the parts that they skipped through? So it would just be like the the opening song like 12 times. Because people usually skip through if they're like watching an anime, and people usually skip through the opening and ending, right? And so the most boring moments compilation would just be 12 times of the opening and the ending. And maybe like a little bit at the beginning that they accidentally skipped over. Or the commercials, you know, the part when they go, this show is brought to you by whatever. McDonald's. Sometimes there are best moments that can't be included because it requires another best moment. I see. It's like a dependency graph. You can't put this as a best moment because the other one wasn't a best moment. And it's only the best moment because of the other moment. I try not to skip the JoJo OPs. But I feel like you see them once and you're like, I already know. Well, I've never watched JoJo, so I don't know. They're pretty good though. Some of the classics of all time. They changed near the end slightly. Oh yeah, like when in some anime when they like change it, some parts of the opening and ending. Like when they introduce a new character, suddenly they show up in the opening. Subtle things like that. When someone dies, they remove them from the opening. And you're like, what the? That's messed up. This guy used to be in the opening. Well, I just made that up. I don't know. They probably do that for some shows. JoJo turns into a slice of life. Does it though? JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. What about JoJo's Normal Adventure? When does he have a normal adventure? It's always bizarre. I think he deserves a normal life for once. I should probably sit down, I don't know. I feel like I've been standing up. This is like the only time of the week that I stand up for a long time. It's like I don't think my posture is really that good anymore. I will say, like, one thing about being in an office is that there's more space. Right? My room is pretty small. I don't have a standing desk. I feel like when I was in the office, I would stand up a lot. Didn't realize I was standing in real life. Yeah, I do that. I could sit. I just feel like... I should stand, you know? Yeah, JoJo's everyday life. Nichijou? How do we know you're not in an office right now? I guess this is also like... it's also kind of an office, right? Because this is where I work, right? As when I work from home, I guess this is a home office. But not really, right? It's not like an official office. It's just where I happen to work. It's also where my bed is. Right. We've had this discussion where, like, some people don't like having their computer in the same room as where they sleep. I guess because, like, a lot of dust builds up. Because usually where you sleep has the most dust. And I actually didn't know a long time ago. I didn't know that like dust. I thought dust was just like stuff from outside. It turned out most of the dust in your room is like dead skin cells from like when you're sleeping. You just like shed a lot of dead skin. And that's what dust is. Exactly, yeah. So if you ever wonder why it's not a good idea to have like computer parts in your bedroom, it's because a lot of dust is generating there. Yeah, exactly, Hamflo knows. Home office gaming setup is the best setup, JK. I hit in my setup. I don't know. That's why I put cardboard boxes on top of my electronics when I don't use them. It shields the dust. Having it in the same room also makes the mental separation hard. Yeah, but like when you're working, you could just be like, I don't feel like working right now. I'm just gonna go lie down. And then you can just go lie down. I do that a lot. I feel like it makes me like less productive, but whatever, it's fine. Right, I can literally go lie down right now. I've done that on streams before. Right, I'm sitting on my bed right now. Right, my chair is over here now. My bed's right here. I could lie down right now. Okay, but my boundary for VR does not include my bed. So if I stand over there, I get disconnected, so I won't do that. What if you just wear a bodysuit, no more dead skin cells? Yeah, but then you would be uncomfortable. I know some people, like, they don't like wearing clothing when they go to sleep. What is your guys' perspective? I have to wear, like, long shirt and long pants when I go to bed. Even in the summer, right? Even when it's hot, I gotta have long sleeves and long pants. I don't know, something about not having it just feels weird to me. I can't wear long pants. What? I think I will never understand people that sleep naked. Right? There are definitely people that do that, but like to me, that's just like, that's too weird. Like, so what do you mean you don't wear clothes to bed? Hazmat suit? Yeah, just wear. It's gotta be so hot though, you wear the hazmat suit. I wear a t-shirt and shorts. Winter, I need socks. Socks, yeah, sometimes. When it's like really cold. This doesn't happen that often, but sometimes if it's really cold, I need socks. I feel like I haven't needed them in years. While sleeping, I mean. Been sleeping on the floor for a lull. But why? Just for a lull? Just because it's funny? Is sleeping on the floor like good for you though? Like I think some people say sleeping on a hard surface, it's like it's better for your back in the long run or something. There was a time when I considered sleeping without a pillow, but I never did it. I think it helps a little bit with posture. It's probably not good. I don't know. Let's see, I'm not comfortable sleeping naked because what if you need to get up quickly for some reason? Yeah, and also it would be uncomfortable. You would need to like, I don't know. It's just weird. In my opinion, anyway. Or maybe we're the weird ones. I mean, we are weird, but not exactly for that reason. Hamflo is literally always wearing socks. Always, literally. Even with sandals. Actually, I never understood the big deal about that. Socks with sandals, that's fine to me, right? People often make fun of it like it's some weird thing. Why wouldn't you wear socks with sandals? That's not weird at all, in my opinion. It's weird that people would consider it weird. Socks in bed is actual psychopathic behavior. No, sometimes in winter it's really cold. You're just gonna be cold for no reason. That sounds like someone with a socks or sandals wearer would say. I haven't worn sandals since I was a kid. Well, no, that's not true. I'm wearing sandals right now. I guess they're not sandals, they're like slippers. But you can wear socks with sandals. It's fine. Socks with Crocs. I've never worn Crocs. Turn up the heat. It costs money. Okay. It costs money to turn up the heat. I'd probably make sure to have a separate set of socks for indoor/bed. I guess. Sandals with the sandals with the thing in the front. I don't know. I still think it's fine. It's probably still fine. If you want to be a dork, no. Denchi, you can't make fun of people that wear socks. They're the backbone of society. Without them, we would be nothing. Probably. I don't know. Maybe. The Illuminati? What if they all wear socks in bed? All the influential people? All the people that control all the software? All the open source software maintainers? If you get rid of all the people that wear socks in bed, or with sandals, like where would we even be? I don't wear socks indoors. I do have fuzzy slippers that I wear during colder times. I don't think I've ever had fuzzy slippers. It does seem like it'd be comfortable. And yet, I've never done it. Actually, sometimes if you take a plane like to Japan, sometimes they'll give you slippers. Actually, I think they've always done it, but I thought that was pretty cool. Wear slippers on the plane. They weren't particularly fuzzy, but they also weren't smooth. I don't know what kind of material it was, like cotton? I don't know. Yeah, society would be nothing. We would be nowhere. The sock wearers. Secret society. Oh, I knocked over my trophy. It was like 2 streams ago. What if the bear wears socks? What if the person driving that plane, flying that plane, I mean. Which trophy? This one. It's the trophy I got for beating this game. I have huge Snorlax slippers and I love them. They do seem like the Snorlax slippers. I guess it does seem like those would be soft. Wasn't there also like a Gengar? Like there's like a big Gengar plush at some point, and I don't know if it was Gengar, but there was like a huge Pokemon plush where you could like put your head in it and go to sleep. Oh yeah, also yeah, the Gengar slipper, Snorlax slippers. Yeah, this is the big fish trophy. Oops. It kind of looks like a banana. Banana with a tail. You swallowed your feet. The Snorlax? I don't know. I haven't really had a Pokemon plush in a long time. I think actually a long time ago I had like a corgi puppet. I just saw it in the store. I was like, I'm gonna buy a corgi. not a corgi, but like a little plush toy. You could make its mouth like move. I might still have it. It's like the biggest plush that I've had. Yo, it's Kuragi. Alright. I don't know. Let's go to nighttime. I feel like it's been daytime enough. We spent enough time in the daytime. It's time to go. It's time to become night. It's the core hockey camp. Whoa, the music just stopped? What? It just changed. I will admit, the only plushie I have is the giant taco beanbag and the plush. Yeah, that one is surprisingly big. Like, I don't have it, but the photos of it is very, very large. I think some of my friends who went to, I forget what it was, Anime Expo or whatever, a few of them brought their giant Ina Takodachi plush, and they all took photos of it. I think it's huge. You guys buy the Wolfie plush? The Hololive EN, the Wolfie style plush? Actually, I'm still surprised when a few days ago when I raided Yaru. Exactly happened to be when she received like a Wolfie style plush. What a coincidence, right? A custom Wolfie. Anyway, I don't have plushes anymore. Are they still for sale? I don't know. I don't know. I don't actually pay attention. You could check twitter.com/Wolfie with 3 E's. It's one of my recent retweets. Actually, you know what? I'll check right now. I will check right now. Yes, it was a coincidence. Okay, twitch.tv. Sorry, not Twitch, Twitter. Oops. Who the heck is this? Wolfie with 2 E's? It's a typo. Yeah, Wolfie with 3 E's. Until October 17th. Okay, they're... I guess pre-orders are over. As of 20 days ago. Let's see. Wait, the acrylic stands cost more than the plushes? Oh, look at that one. Look, designed by Wolfie? Questionable. There it is. The real Wolfie Wolfington? Yeah, Wolfie with 2 E's. Who's this guy? George Leal, 0 following, 0 followers, never tweeted. This guy just joined Twitter 2013. Posted a photo of himself with like a... what was that, crocodile, alligator, and then just never tweeted and never followed anyone. What the heck? Also, welcome, Bone Miser. Hoping you're doing well, safe from the bear. It's nighttime. I don't think the bear shows up at night. As far as I'm aware, anyway. I don't know. What else is happening in the world? What's going on? Can check my YouTube stats. Minus 12 subscribers in the last 28 days. SMH. Matrix. Bear. Oh yeah, Modern, you're new here. We have bears. On the lake, there's a bear that shows up sometimes, but it always shows up really far away, so people don't believe me. And I keep saying the bear is real. It's definitely real. Shows up if you have peanut butter. You guys like peanut butter? I've been having peanut butter sandwiches for breakfast recently. What's good is if you have peanut butter on waffles. Eggo style waffles is pretty good. I don't even have jelly. You guys, when you eat peanut butter, do you guys usually get like jelly with it? I feel like I just use peanut butter on its own. That's perfectly fine. We're anti-jelly. I feel like with jelly, you only really eat it with peanut butter, right? Do people just eat jelly by itself? Like, I've never, like, people who have jelly, it's always with peanut butter. Sometimes it's even in the same, like, container. But if you just have, like, a jelly sandwich by itself, that feels weird. Like, psycho behavior or whatever. Toast with jelly, what? Okay, maybe it's not psycho behavior. Maybe I'm the weird one. I never have jelly around. I love peanut butter straight on bread. Yeah, it's so good. I like jelly and peanut butter on their own, but not together. I guess that's valid. What do you have jelly like on its own? Jelly toast. Jelly crackers. Toast and jelly / jam and a small amount of butter. Like cow butter. For some reason, like the idea of putting like cow butter. Is it weird calling it cow butter? Like that technically is what it is, cow butter. I guess milk butter, I don't know. Mixing that with jelly. Seems weird to me, but maybe it's normal. Cause like peanut butter is perfectly fine. Jelly with cheese and jelly with cheese? What? I would never have considered combining jelly with cheese. Cause I feel like those flavors don't match up well to me. Like eating cheese with sweets? I don't know. Banana's pretty good though. I think I watched a video recently. I was recommended a video of someone comparing like a $600 blender with like a $20 one. Interesting comparison. I think most of the difference was like the size of the thing. The size, what is that thing called? The base, I guess, I don't know. Oh man. It does contrast well with sharp cheddar or something like that. This guy's got different types of cheese. I don't even know what sharp cheddar is. It's like just, I'm gonna assume it's not like physically sharp. Like the way you don't cut it into a knife. Just have like a cheddar knife. That's a sharp cheddar. Cheese plus sweets is normal in charcuterie boards. I've never had one of those. What really are those? They're just like crackers and cheese and I don't know what else is. They got they have vegetables? Probably not. Meats? They got meats on there. Welcome Wolfie. Let's get Wolfie a charcuterie board for Christmas. Why? I don't want it. If I had a throne, you could suggest it, but I don't. I will never get a throne. You can suggest things. You can suggest weird things on streamers' thrones. You just click on someone's throne and it's like a giant block of cheese or something. Here's a 50-kilogram block of cheese. $600. You want to buy this streamer? They're just an assortment of cheese and things to pair with cheese. I think recently there's been like a trend apparently of they call them butter boards. They take like a wooden board, they just like they slather it with butter, and then they like crumble like crackers on top of it or something. Apparently that's a thing people are doing. It feels like too much butter to me. Grapes, they put grapes in those. Sharp in Cheeseland is sort of similar to savory. Is Softa similar? Love that emote. Love those emotes. You guys ever watch TechQ? I'm pretty sure that's what it was based on, right? These TechQ, the tennis anime, 2-minute, like 30-second long. It's so funny. Those were the days. Back then. Hamflo doesn't even know anime. And that's fine. That's fine, you don't need to know anime. He knows VTubers now. It's basically the same thing as knowing anime. Ban them? No! Don't ban him. Don't ban this guy. Bring back Ura on. I never watched that. I don't even know what that is. What is that? K-On! Yo, they should have a parody of K-On! Called Crayon. It's like, instead of K, it's Cray. They're all Cray. The crayon boo. It's when they use the crayons. That's not funny at all. But what if it was? What if they had that? They could do it. But they won't because they're cowards. Yeah, Crayon, Shinja. Yo, I knew it. Crayon. They had a club. Were you guys ever in clubs in high school? Or college, I guess. I think when I was in high school, I was in Puzzles and Games Club. That was a club that I was in. We didn't really do much. We just played Monopoly. A bunch of random other games. I think we played like card games, I think. There's like this game called Egyptian Rat Screw. I don't even remember what it was. I vaguely remember it being fun. Also, welcome Fowls. You had an origami club? They teach you how to do origami. What was the most fancy origami you've done? That might be worse than the chess club. What was it bad? That sounds pog as heck. Origami though? Yo, papercraft? Wait a second. I did papercraft back in the day, actually. I'm pretty sure. Actually, I can probably find it. I'm pretty sure if I go to my old blog, there's some papercraft that I did. I'm gonna look it up. It was so fun. Yo, look at this. Okay, yes, I remember this. There were these. This is papercraft. I made this out of paper. And by I made it, I just mean I printed it out and I assembled it. Classic. I had these. Fun times. You guys make stuff like this? cars. Oh, yeah, that's it. I made this one. I made this one. $404? Okay. Yeah, those are cool. Yeah, Paul, where is it now? I think I threw it away. I think over time the paper degrades, right? Because I think the ink that was used for this, it's not as bright anymore. It basically, you could barely tell. It was like faded. And it was just, there's just there gathering dust. And then I'm just gonna throw it away. Oh, Denchi made a Yukuri as well. Yukuri? Dude, the box ones from Ami Ami count? Which one? Oh yeah, there was also a Miku one. One of my friends sent me one of those Miku paper crafts. Not this one. Actually, this one looks pretty cute as well. I forget what it was. Oh, it was called Graphig. Yeah, these. You guys seen these? I had this one. It's a Miku that you can print. Oh look, they got Tohos. Anyway, I don't think I have the patience to do stuff like this anymore. I had you had to print out the papers, you had to cut it with an X-Acto knife. It simply took too long. Welcome, Yogi King. Yeah, these were cool. They're called Graphig. It's like graphing without the N. We got Santa Claus. Nice, very cool. You also need to have nice paper, right? If you try doing this on regular printer paper, it would definitely not hold up. I think one time my dad just bought a bunch of nice printer paper, not printer paper, just nice thick cardstock paper from Staples. And I printed a bunch of stuff on there. Those were good times. Did you know they removed the foot emoji? I didn't know there was one. What is that emoji? What is that? I have no idea what that is. Anyway, welcome. Welcome to twitch.tv/Wolfers. Still there. That's a custom channel emote. Alright, okay. Alright, I'm gonna go stand up again. You know me, I'm a stand-up guy. Literally just standing up. Yeah, +2. +3 even? Splatoon 3? I feel like recently my eyes kind of hurt. I don't know. You ever had this thing where you just look in the mirror and you're like, man, my eyes are like a little bit red. You guys ever use eye drops? I have never used eye drops. Of course, it's a VTuber emoji. It's gotta be. Too shy. For eye drops? What do you mean? What does that mean? Karagi shy. They sting. Oh yeah, you know when you go to the what they call optometrist, and then actually no, I guess they do give you eye drops. The first time I got glasses. Oh yo, thank you for the raid. You make an eye. What were you doing? I'm gonna do the shout out. You usually play retro games, right? or Jump King. Ape Escape. That's a game I haven't heard in a long time. Yes, this is the most relaxing time of the week when I go fishing on the lake. The reason why the title is fishing clickbait is that I don't actually fish. You see this fishing rod, but I don't actually cast it at all. I think my only memory of Ape Escape was one time when I went to Toys R Us, and I think they had like a demo of Ape Escape somewhere showing. I saw it, but I never actually played it. Anyway, that's my only memory of it. I think I saw someone stream it once, but it was like quite a few months ago. It's really fun. I feel like that's like one of the classic games. Like, what if they remake that game? They can re-release it. They've been like remaking like Crash games. They remade Spyro. What about Ape Escape? Is that one of the classic games of all time? Ape Escape for PS1 is Pog, but Ape Escape 3? Was that one on PS2? The third ape? Do you think they would have captured the apes by now? Yes, it is PS2. I somehow guessed properly. It is. I knew it. I think when I think of PS1 games that I played a long time ago, there's one called like Brave Fencer Musashi. I think I played that as a kid, and I don't remember any of it, other than the fact that I played it once. I think it had an old remake on PSP. Ape Escape? The ape escaped onto the PSP. I love Brave Fencer. Actually, is that the game that I'm thinking of? I'm not sure. I'm gonna look it up. I think it is. Yeah, this looks familiar. I think this is what I'm thinking of. But I don't remember it at all. There's like a lot of games I play. You guys remember Medieval? It's like Medieval. Or something. Yeah, this game with like the weird skeleton. It's like one of the PS1 games that I played. These are all on like a demo disc. PS4 game? Wait, this game's on PS4? They remake this game? They had a remake of this game? What the heck? Huh. I had no idea. Anyway, I played this game. Ow. Welcome Hypermetallics and Dio. I can't read. Neo Ultimate. You can buy anime figures in the game and display them. In Brave Fencer Musashi. I don't remember. I just remember there was like one level that had like a huge rock or something. Or maybe I just made that up. That probably describes like every game. Every game just has like a huge rock somewhere. The rock is okay. Wait, how did I? Okay, big rock. There was like one level that I remember very specifically. I don't know. Well, that's my stream. When I just go, you remember this thing, and then people say, I remember this thing. It's the content that everyone's here for. We're just out here remembering things. At the beginning, okay, yeah, that's what... I never made it far in that game. I just remember there was like a big rock. It's gotta be where I remembered it from. Oh, see, unfortunately the company shut down, so there probably won't be any more Ape Escape. Damn. Oh well. I mean, I never played it, so I don't really know. I do not remember this. Yo, I also don't remember it. I sorta, you know when you remember things, but then you also sorta don't remember things? That's me. It's literally me right now. Wait, this, I remember this. I think it was this part. Well, anyway, I hope you had a good stream. We're just out here talking about stuff. I'm gonna do that thing that streamers say when they're like, thanks for the raid, but if you gotta do other stuff, go ahead and do other stuff. Always appreciate when people say that. You're like, yes indeed, I'm gonna go do other stuff. Raiders, people participating in the raid as well. If you spend a long time watching a stream and then you get raided into someone and you got other stuff to do, you can just leave. It's fine. Handful forgot? How could you forget? Literally for gore. This is a game called Catch and Release. It's a standalone fishing game. In my opinion, it's the best fishing game of all time. Or sorry, the best VR game of all time. I spent like 100+ hours in this game. I caught the big fish. This is the trophy you get for catching the last boss. But usually when I play this game, I don't actually fish. I just chat. It's chill. This is the night mode. There's also daytime. Sometimes you'll see a bear. There's like an aurora borealis sometimes. Usually it shows up over there. And it's pretty. Been messing with my Quest 2 recently. Mostly pretending to be various Hololive characters. I don't really find any VR chat to be that appealing. They're I don't know, like I got VR and I was like, oh, I'm gonna play so many games. And then I just play this one. I just play this one for 100 hours. And I have a good time. And E-Boy. There are a lot of those avatars on VR chat. You could play Tetris in VR. Right, that's pretty cool. You could cry. Some people play Tetris in VR and they cried. Because it was so pretty. Not me though. Yeah, woozy. Okay, it's been another hour, I'm gonna hydrate. You also make sure to stay hydrated. Gonna go sleep now, have a chill stream. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for the raid. I'm gonna hydrate now. Tetris Effect, yeah, Tetris Effect, one of the best games. Am I dancing and hydrating? I was. I was going like this. See my head moving? It's like... Hey, just do this. Just move your arm, clip your hands into your head. You could do this. You can move your arm. You can move your arms like this. The tracking is not so great. Because these proportions are not very human-like. Also, welcome Frank. You could do an uppercut. You could do this. And also the fact that I don't have full body tracking. It's like a little bit janky. But isn't that just part of the charm? I remember I bought a boxing game in VR once. I played it once and I was so tired. I realized that I don't know how to punch at all. And so there was like a guy and then I just went like this for like 10 minutes and then my arms were so tired. And then I never played the game ever again. Can I floss? I can't. It's actually surprisingly hard. Like I don't know how the kids train to do this stuff. They can do it so well. And then if you see someone doing orange justice, it's like that's so hard to do. I've never done it. I've never tried to do it. But it seems difficult. Can you do it? Have you tried doing it? So it's difficult. All these dances that the kids are doing, how do they do it? They got home from school and practiced flossing for 5 hours straight. Because children have nothing else to do. No, they gotta do their homework. They gotta browse TikTok. So many things they gotta do. They gotta they gotta watch their Oshis. They gotta tune into HoloLive. They gotta watch... Who do people watch nowadays? Markiplier. Five Nights at Freddy's. Gotta play Minecraft. There's so many things kids have to do nowadays. I forgot that I play Beat Saber. It's like the only really fun VR game. Have you tried, what was that gun game, Pistol Whip? I think aside from this game, Pistol Whip is my favorite VR game. Love to shoot to the beat of the rhythm. Yeah, do you have an Oshi, everyone? I know of people in chat Oshis. Denchi's Oshi is Lily Hops. Toaster's Oshi is Aoi Tokimori from Prism Project. Duck's Oshi is... Gosh, what's her name? If you show Rosuri, right? One of those, yeah. I know. I have the notes in my head. I don't know, man. He's totally... Oshi... Toaster Oshi has... betrayed her. How could he do this? So we say... How could Toaster do this? Unbelievable. Yeah, I tuned into her stream and you weren't there. Say, what the heck? Toaster's not in chat. How could you not watch every stream? What if I don't even have an Oshi? I know even if I had one, I don't reveal it. But what if I don't? What if I actually don't have one? It's possible that I don't. What if the cool new thing is to not have an Oshi? You can just live your own life. You could be your own Oshi. Well, you could be like, I'm gonna stream so well that I will surpass everyone. I don't reveal it. No, sometimes people ask. And I'm like, I don't know. I simply don't know. Anyway, we're just here. We're just here chilling. I'm like getting tired from from just standing. Well, he doesn't have the emotes anymore. How could Duck not have the Amelia Watson emotes? Whoa, that's loud. Look at all the fireflies. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to talk about. I would consult my notes, but I'm in VR and I can't check that right now. My notes are probably just about different YouTube videos that I watched recently because that's all I do. A 24-hour... He's not even subscribed. Channel points. He's not spending his channel points. Oh, there it is. I wonder who made that emote. It looks very familiar. She does have a Twitch, yes. She streams on Twitch like once every 3 months or something. Also, a while back I was like, I don't know why they don't just upload more emotes. That I forgot. They can't because they're not partnered, they're only affiliates. So they have the same number of emote slots that I do. I think they all have accounts probably. And they're all like weirdly named. Right? It's always like like Watson Amelia underscore Hololive underscore Ian. Same thing for the Holostars members. It's like I don't even remember what it was. Like Vesper Noir underscore Holostars underscore EN. Super official. Definitely real. Amelia Watson underscore real underscore EN underscore VT underscore channel. That's how you know they're official. Wolfie underscore real. Alright. You guys ever do this thing where you raise your arms above your head? And then you just go like this? I don't know if that shows up in the video. Just go like this. Yes, stretching. You guys ever do this motion where you move your arms in a way that is similar to stretching? What's that called? Oh yeah, stretching. You guys ever do that? Let's see, weird enough ID Gen 1 has got me into VTubers. I think I prefer ID to all the other branches. But I thought your Oshi was Suisei. How could you prefer other branches over your Oshi? Well, I guess it's the branch as a whole. A whole, like whole alive. The branch. The Git branch. Anyway, I'm out of stuff to talk about. So if you guys got stuff to talk about, and we'll gladly discuss various topics. But for now, I'm just gonna raise my arms and then stretch. You also make sure to stretch. You've been sitting down, you gotta stretch. Cumulatively, ID as a branch is insane. They do know a lot of languages. You gotta know like Indonesian, English, and Japanese. I'm just here. Copium. Whose emote is that? Is that Miko? Oh, Magni Desmond. Miko, I knew that was Miko. Copium. Oh yeah, Mocha streamed this past weekend, right? I saw it. Or maybe not this weekend, I don't know. Sometime this past week. I saw... Yes, exactly. I saw it. I mean, I saw it on the list. I didn't actually click. And she was literally pogging. Is that your other Oshi? Ooh, Togo. Copium. Do I have Copium emotes? How many Copium emotes do you guys got? Let's see. I have one. Wait. I have 2 Copium. Is this what this one's Copium? Yes, that is. It's not called Copium. It's just Cope. I see. Maybe it's possible. Yeah, I like this one. This one's pretty good. I feel like, in my opinion, it's hard to look. It's hard to like tell from a glance when something is a Copium emote. Usually, like it's hard to portray that. Like when I look at this one, like from a distance, it looks like she's like drinking from a cup or something. This one just looks like she's wearing a mask. This one looks like Pasta is like wearing a mustache or something. Until you zoom in. They're pretty hard to read, yeah. I don't know, I feel like most emotes are hard to read. Not hand flows though. Hand flows are so clear. You see this one, you know it's like pogging. This one for sure is a ham. Yeah, mine also. Exactly. Some of Karagi's are pretty clear though. Karagi Shy is very clear, very easy to read. The dances, Karagi dance as well. Good, we got some good emotes. Literally pogging. I feel like I do this every stream. Every stream I just go through my emotes. There's all of them. There's all the Karagi emotes. I feel like these emotes are pretty clear as well. Yeah, Karagi smile, unless you get used to it, it's a bit hard to tell. But once you know it, you're like, okay, yeah, that's a Karagi smile right there. Yeah, if you know, you know. I like this one. This one's pretty good. Seabat also pretty good. We're doing this again. We're just doing this thing where we go over emails. What is that one? T-Owl. I see that Choco Jacks one pretty often as well. The bat. Are you seeing this bat? I see the bat. Yeah, Mocha Rats. What is that one? Oh, Licky? Thank you for the 2 months, Wicho. There's 4 of them. There's 4 Seabats. Was not expecting a dorselessness? What is dorselessness? What is that? Dorselessness? what that is. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Missing 2 C-bats. What are the remaining C-bats? Does Avi have one? Bumblebee pudding. I don't know. There's many. Yeah, what do we got on? She does not have one. Ah, vanilla scoop. Doorlessness came from an analog horror video. Like, I can't tell what it is. What is that? I don't even know what analog horror is. Didn't Uwu to Owo do one of those streams? It was like he had like a VCR or something. I don't actually understand what that video was. I guess we're gonna click on videos, huh? Blue Channel. Is this a horror video? 2.5 million views. What? The most watched part of the video? Oh, isn't this just the guy from what's his memes? It's a good video. We're doing a watch along. I don't want to watch video. I'm not gonna become a react streamer. You can't even hear the audio. Here, I'll just react to this frame. Whoa, that's doorlessness. Degrents. Andric. Punish. What the heck is that? That's weird. Loric? Wait a second, I've heard that word before. Can't believe Wolfie became a react streamer. Well, I've reacted. That's the extent of react streams you'll see. Yeah, that's what I've seen. Someone has used, yeah, lore, SMH lore. That lore is so icky though. The Lorax. You guys ever watched the Lorax? I have not. That's where the Onceler came from. The Onceler, the guy who's popular on Tumblr. I feel like sometimes I make fun of like doing react streams, but I feel like in some cases it's like, what else are you gonna do, right? If you're gonna do like a subathon, really, you basically have to do react content, right? Because like, how are you gonna waste all these hours, you know? So I think in that context, react streams make sense. Other than that, though, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not even sure. Like, if I had to do a subathon and I had to stream for like 40-something hours, I don't even know what I would do. Right? I would talk for like maybe 2 or 3 hours, and then I would run out of content, and then I'd just be sitting there. Like, what would I even do? I don't have enough content to last many hours. Just talk about emotes. Yeah, we'll play like the emote identification game for like 40 hours. Oh, that one? Yeah, that one's I've seen that one. Logseek. I can't talk about Logseek for 3 days. I could imagine me playing Picross for 3 days. 3 days of like, oh, here's the 3 goes there, you can tell this is the 3. You can put the 1 in this place. Based on these 2 numbers, you know this number's gotta be there. Fishing for a whole weekend. Yeah, is there like a subathon where someone just literally doesn't read chat at all? Someone's just like out there doing like work or something. They could have that. A subathon where a streamer does not even acknowledge the existence of chat. Like, they could just be, like, at work. Just typing. They could just be sleeping. People just out here be sleeping on stream. Without muting. Is that allowed? Yeah. Do people do that? Anyway, it's about that time that I end my stream. It's been approximately 2.5 hours. Unless you guys got other stuff to talk about, I'm out of content for today. This guy's just out of content. I should have consulted my notes. Alright, so let's see. Let's see what today is. This guy doesn't even know content. I remember I saw a tweet recently of like someone was like, oh yeah, someone had a hallucination and they described it as like, oh yeah, and then my brain just started creating content on its own. Interesting way to describe things. Okay, National Fried Chicken Sandwich Day. Brian Holland Legacy Day. What the British pudding? That's messed up. I'm not doing that. Carl Sagan. Chaos Never Dies Day. No, the Geriatric Tooth Fairy Day. Who the heck is? Who are these people? All right, these holidays are pretty boring. We can do National Fried Chicken Sandwich Day. Okay, you probably got some chicken emote somewhere. And let's see who to raid. Oh yeah, Twitch added this thing recently of how I was complaining about how the channels weren't really sorted. It lets you sort it by unknown algorithm or by viewers. But it doesn't sort your offline channels. So look, I don't even know how these are sorted. Recommended, just whatever the algorithm decides is good. Germa streaming. What is my favorite fried chicken sandwich place / sandwich place? I don't know. Popeye's pretty good. I haven't really had like the unique ones. Okay, so I've rated everyone who's streaming right now that I would raid. I've already rated at least once before. No, we're not raiding Germa. That guy's a psycho. He'll have you peep the horror and then someone will die. Literally, he will kill someone. Okay, alright, so let's see, what do I raid? Now you can see everyone that I'm choosing not to raid. You'd be like, I can't believe Wolfie chose not to raid this guy. Hamflow's playing Hollow Knight. You could watch Choco Jax. She's doing some art. A lot of people are playing this new God of War game as well, right? He's insane. He ate a bird. Did he? Is that something he did? I would not be surprised if he did that. Alright, well, let's, I guess we could raid. Person that I did not raid recently. Wait, I'm pretty sure I raided Bodega Rat recently. I think last time I raided her, she was playing like Cult of the Lamb, but that was... I'm pretty sure that was less than 200 days ago. Actually, let me check my spreadsheet. Did I do something wrong here? A live bird? Wait, no, many of us ate birds. I've eaten a bird, not a live bird. Like a chicken? A chicken is a bird. I haven't eaten a live chicken, but I have eaten a chicken. You could call someone a psycho just because they did something logical. It was like, oh yeah, this guy ate a freaking bird. And then, it's true, many of us have eaten birds. Okay, when was I last raid bodega? Okay. Really? Back in April? No. I'd definitely raided Bodega Rat recently. Oh, whatever. I don't know. We're gonna raid her now. Let's raid her. He ate an animal? SMH. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Tomorrow I will find some game to stream. I'm not sure what game, but I'll stream something. Something will be streamed. Get chicken fire. Yeah, we got 29 viewers. That's a lot of people. Thanks for stream. Thanks for watching. I'm just gonna be sitting here for the next 20 something seconds until the raid goes. Yep, that's me. Just sitting here, just talking, not catching fish. Didn't even cast the rod today. Alright, the raid is going. It's going within the next 10 seconds. It's going. Okay, we got 10 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking. Goodbye, thanks for watching.